That was a fun one. I don't know if I've been involved in a 4 overtime game before. I was losing track how many overtimes were in there at the end, but a lot of credit to our guys. They thought they showed a lot of character. We could have folded there. I think guys might have to help me out, but I think we got down 6 in the third overtime. Is that correct? So to come back from being down 6 when we're as tired as we were, both teams like to play fast, and turned into a half court game for a large majority of the end of that game. So, I thought some guys made some timely plays. I thought Charles was huge for us, 16 rebounds, played 44 minutes for a guy that's not used to playing more than 20. For him to be able to stay in for 44 minutes and not foul out, it's probably a record for Charles. But, he's huge. He's 7 of 9 from the floor, 16 rebounds with the 14 points. So, and you kind of match with Baycock's really good. Obviously, he ended up with 20 and 10, but I thought Charles matched him pretty well, and they kind of took Baycott out at the end. I give North Carolina a lot of credit too. They don't have much depth. For them to go 4 overtimes and go toe to toe with us, we got a lot more depth. But both teams didn't really play much more than about 5 or 6 guys there at the end. So I thought Nance did a pretty good job in the switches. We couldn't take advantage of them as much as we would have liked. But for Quinerly to be not cleared to play a couple of weeks ago, then to come in and play 44 minutes, it wasn't one of his best shooting performances for sure, but he still ends up with 21 and 6 rebounds and 8 assists. That's a pretty good stat line for a guy that was not cleared to play about 2 weeks ago. So I think we're coming. We've got some guys that, stepped up. Clowney's been great for us all year. Couldn't go, he got knocked down on the dunk attempt, only played 3 minutes. And so, we need to know Gurley, who hasn't been playing, I don't know how many minutes he's averaging going in. He plays 42 minutes. He was pretty big. He's, ends up with 6 rebounds and hit some big threes. He's 3 of 5 from 3. So kind of just go down the list. Jaden Bradley, he's from North Carolina, from Charlotte there. He's sits on the bench for a while, and we need him to come in. That's hard to do, to come off the bench when you've been sitting a while and play as well as he did. So, there were some turnovers late. We ended up with 22 turnovers, but played 60 minutes of basketball. So it's not the worst, and we've had a lot worse. We had 16 and 20 minutes of basketball last game out. So we did a little bit better job with that. I thought the ball moved a little better. We had 21 assists. So a lot of guys stepped up, made plays. Sears was huge. We needed somebody that scored for us with Brandon struggling. They did a great job on Brandon. Brandon definitely wasn't Brandon's night. So for us to get a win when Brandon struggled as much as he did, I thought we needed some other guys to step up, and Sears stepped up, made some big shots, and led us in scoring. So happy with the overall just team being able to stick through it for 60 minutes.
We'll start on Zoom with Nick.
Yeah, when you're heading into a 4th overtime, A, what's the message to the team? And B, what was kind of the strategy at that point?
Message was we just got to keep grinding out some stops. Like we can get it. Guys are disappointed. I could go back and watch. I can't remember what happened at the end of the 3rd, but it seemed like there was a few times when we had opportunities we could have won it, missed a shot, missed a rebound, whatever, and we got to kind of pick guys back up. All right, here we go. We got another 5 minutes. It got to the point like, all right, this is fun. Like, this is why we do this, so we can coach more basketball, play more basketball. Like, let's make this thing as fun as we can. It's a lot more fun if you get a win. So let's try to grind some stops out, make some tough plays, rebound the ball. So, this is one of the better rebounding teams in the country every year. And we ended up out rebounding by 4. So I thought the rebounds late in the game, it helped that, Baycott wasn't in at the end, obviously, but I thought us rebounding the ball, we had some huge rebounds late in the game.
Charlie.
Yeah, Coach, I guess this is for both of you. You mentioned Charles in your opening, but just how big was he down the stretch, especially in overtime? I think he had 8 points and 8 boards in the 4 overtimes. Just, you mentioned him being able to stay out of foul trouble. How huge was that for you guys?
Oh, it was huge. We needed him in. Typically we wouldn't play him if they pulled Baycott out, but we kind of matched him on Leaky Black, who ended up stinging us for 2 threes. It just seems like he's made timely shots for them, but we felt like we could, play him on Leaky, who's not as aggressive on offense. So we kept him in even when they didn't really have a 5 matchup for him. Nance is really a spacing 4. So we guarded Nance with guards. I thought our guards did a pretty good job switching him and playing him pretty tough. So, yeah, Charles was huge. We needed him in. I don't think he'd been playing his best basketball. I kind of challenged him before the game, like, we need you to step up. I mean, I think he was the best field goal percentage shooter in the country for freshman last year. You know, he goes 7 of 9. Kind of look at, you know, I mean, Baycat's good. Baycat goes 7 of 12. Chuck goes 7 of 9. I mean, they, for as good as Baycat is, I thought Charles kind of neutralized him pretty well tonight. And I can't say enough about guards too. I mean, you look at Caleb, the defense late, you know, we kind of put Charles in a pick and roll coverage where we were trying to give up contested long twos, and the guys just stuck with the plan. You know, Love and Davis hit a decent amount of them throughout the course, but I think as the game went on, they got more tired. And I mean, shoot, those two combined for 60 field goal attempts. It's a lot of field goal attempts so our guards had to do a pretty good job continuing to guard them over the course of, you know, what did they played? Yeah, 58 and 51 minutes. So those are probably the best backcourt we've seen at this year as far as aggressive scoring guards.
Joey?
Coach, like you said, you guys were down by as much as 6 in the third period. You're down by 8 in the second half. What does a win like this say about the emotional maturity and the grittiness of your team?
I think it, you know, we don't quit. I mean, we kind of challenged our guys after the UConn game. Like, if you go back and look at that, I think there was 2 stretches in the first half and the second half that were right about 8 to 9 minutes total, where we got outscored 39-5. The rest of, you know, for 31, 32 minutes, we outscored UConn by 19, but those 8-9 minutes were that disastrous that we got blown out. So we told our guys, like, you know, if they start to go on a run, we got to have a little more grit, determination, fight to us. Like, we can't get scored on back to back, you know, have 2 empty possessions on offense and just take a bad shot or turn it over. We've got to do a much better job stopping runs, being tough when stuff's not going our way. And you look at Brandon. I mean, you know, Brandon's 4 for 21 tonight. Obviously, he struggled. I thought he made some big plays down the stretch, some tough rebounds. You know, he didn't quit where, you know, he got frustrated, but didn't quit, kept playing hard on defense. We needed him to make some of the plays he made. So I thought it was good. You know, Charles, I don't think I said we got the little hard hat blue collar award. That was Charles with all the rebounds he had and the box he had. He made some tough plays. So Charles won it tonight. He was great.
Katie?
For Nate or JQ, just what does this game kind of say about the depth of this team, that even, you know, with Clowney going out early and Brandon not having his best game, that you're able to stick with and beat the #1 team in the country through 4 overtimes?
I think it just shows, you know, our resiliency. We didn't quit. You know, 4 overtimes is crazy. You know, I'm still kind of processing the game myself. It was a lot. So I'm just proud of the guys, especially our younger guys. You know, Brandon struggled a little bit today, and you know, he was still locked in on defense. And, you know, you don't really see that often from, you know, a stud like him. You know, guys that, what do you shoot? What is that? 4
for 21.
4 for 21. You know, usually guys don't stop playing defense if they're not making shots, but he really locked in on the defensive end for us. So it just goes to show that our younger guys, you know, they really willing to fight. And I'm just proud of the guys. You know, we ain't quit tonight.
Mike?
Just for Nate, can you kind of go through that wild swing of emotions with the, you know, the goaltending being overturned and then some of the inbounds passes kind of going back and forth? Just what was that like at the very end there? I
mean, they had to call a goaltending because if they don't call it, then they can't go to the monitor and review it. So give the referees credit. They did the right thing. They called the goaltend. When it was questionable, they go to the monitor. They got it right on the monitor. Now, lucky for us, we had the possession arrow. Unfortunate for us, we turned the ball over immediately. Like, there was a couple inbounds, but look, it's early in the year. I've got to do a better job making sure we're ready to go at the end. Obviously, we had some different guys in different spots, but, you know, turning the ball over with 3 seconds to go where they get it back in front of their bench, bad play. And we talked about, we got to make sure we don't do that. I got to draw up something better where we don't do that. You know, can't just talk about it. I got to put them in better spots so we don't do that. Then the one, you know, at the end, where Sears and I forget who it was from their team fighting for it. You know, I wanted Sears to get the ball. Sears and JQ were kind of in there. They both shoot free throws well. Brandon shoots free throws well. We had good free throw shooting lineup in. Jaden Bradley's a point guard. It's got a high IQ. I thought we had we just we haven't executed enough of this stuff late. Like we do a lot of end of game stuff. We obviously need to do more. We need to execute a lot better late game, but still somehow figured out a way to win the game.
We're going in person with Matt.
Down the stretch throughout those overtimes, was that, were you on fumes, were you on adrenaline, and how are you even processing, this after logging clearly way more than you than anticipated coming into the game?
Yeah, I think it was a point in the second overtime. Was it the second overtime?
Yeah, we had to get him out.
Overtime, like,
I could tell he needed it.
I didn't want to come out, but I really needed one. But you know, I just knew that, you know, the guys needed me to get in the paint, to touch the paint, to spray the ball out, and I was guarding. I thought I played really good on the defensive end tonight, matching up with, you know, a really good backcourt and RJ and Caleb. You know, it was just my mindset is, you know, never quit. And that's kind of what I brought tonight. And I didn't know I was going to play 40 minutes, but I was ready to play 40 minutes if they needed me to.
Last one in person. If you got that.
Jahvon, how important was it going back? The margin for error here tonight. You're going back 1-2. You got a completely different mindset, you know, going forward now with that win. How you got that?
It's a statement. Yeah, it's definitely a statement win. You know, I said it before and I'm gonna keep saying it again. You know, we got a young group and we have every reason to kind of give the game away tonight. And, you know, our young guys, they fought and we just fought as a team, and it just goes to show our resiliency as a group. And I'm just super proud of the guys. It was definitely a statement win. I think guys are gonna be more than locked in, you know, going into
Get South Dakota State.
I
They keep saying San Diego State.
I keep
I mean,
saying
South Dakota, San Diego, some summer places.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks.